Starting April 1st, 2020, the distribution of available funds from MCFD for the 3 early intervention agencies will drastically change. MCFD, the Ministry of Child and Family Development, did not cut funding, but the number of families using services has increased and funding has not increased to meet the demand. The number of families has gone from 250 to 547, which is more than doubled. Hello, my name is Astrid Evanson, and I'm Vice President of the Deaf Children's Society of BC. Prior to 2015, the 3 early intervention agencies received direct funding from the Ministry of Children and Family Development. Those 3 agencies are BC Family Hearing Resource Society, known as BC Family, Deaf Children's Society of BC, DCS, and Children's Hearing and Speech Centre of BC, CHSC, formerly known as the Vancouver Oral Centre. So prior to 2015, this is the funding structure. In 2015, MCFD decided they wanted to consolidate into one contract. So the agencies bid, and BC Family was successful in securing the contract, meaning that CHSC and DCS became subcontractors. Here is the current funding structure. Prior to 2015, MCFD funding made up 75% of the budget of DCS. The rest of the budget came from the BC Early Hearing Program, from donations, and from fundraising. In 2015, MCFD funding made up just 35% of DCS's budget. And from 2015 to 2019, the model included funding for individual services, which meant that each child qualified annually for up to $7,800 targeted funding for speech and language and ASL instruction, which would happen in home visits, $5,200 targeted for ASL instruction, which would happen during home visits, plus an additional $4,800 targeted for outreach to families living outside the Lower Mainland. For group services, from 2015 to 2019, each early intervention agency qualified annually for up to the following targeted funding: $100,000 for speech group programs and $100,000 for ASL group programs, which would include ASL classes, the DCS preschool, language development groups, and parent support groups. This funding model for 2015 to 2019 was not sustainable. It has not been enough funds from MCFD. All 3 agencies have been running deficits that have become worse and worse year after year. The funding model for 2020 to 2021 will mean that MCFD funding will make up only 18% of DCS's budget. This will reduce services. There will be no targeted funding, no money saved for ASL when it comes to individual services. The $1.5 million will be divided by the total number of families, 547, which comes to $2,857 per year. Each child will generate that amount for their early intervention agency, which will seriously impact all individual services, such as weekly speech and language ASL instruction. There's no targeted funding for travel to outreach families. There's no targeted funding for group services. $0 targeted to group programs, including ASL classes and the DCS preschool. The DCS preschool is the only ASL preschool in the province, and it will be eliminated. All three agencies are impacted. Deaf and hard of hearing children at all three agencies will suffer. But it will be worse for DCS. We are the only agency to provide all services in both English and ASL. The $2,857 is the same for all children, regardless of whether they have a mild hearing loss, a unilateral loss, or a profound bilateral deafness. And for each of these types of child, the supports needed are very different. DCS is the only agency with expertise in working with deaf, ASL-using children, and yet there's no additional funding for this highly marginalized group. All three agencies are advocating hard for appropriate funding. DCS has met with Provincial Deaf and Hard of Hearing Services, with various ministries, MLAs, opposition critics, as have the other early intervention agencies, to inform them and to advocate. We need your help. You can help by also contacting important government officials. You can send a letter to the Minister of Child and Family Development, to the Minister of State for Childcare, to the Minister of Health. We're providing you with their contact info. We're also providing you with a letter template that you can easily use by filling in your name and address and personal details. You can write a story about how DCS benefited you, how it benefits the deaf community, or perhaps how you wish you could have attended DCS as a child. Tell them why it is important to protect ASL for deaf children and how crucial it is to teach families ASL to communicate with their deaf child. Please copy the letter to PDHHS. You can ask to meet with Melissa Michael, who's the current interim director of PDHHS. If you require any information, if you have questions or need support getting your letter submitted, please contact me. Thank you so much. Together we can make a difference. Please show your support. Show how important deaf children are, how important ASL is. Please send a letter now. We need your help. Thank you.